We are live from Palm Springs Stadium on yet another day of California Winter League baseball. No, it is not just because of Groundhog Day that we are repeating this over and over again. It is because we love baseball here in Palm Springs. Josh Sperber, Mitch Glessner on the call for Game 1 between the Alberta Grizzly and the Palm Springs Power. And the Power are bringing a new starter to the table, Samuel Cornstad, who's really been their go-to reliever so far in this young season.
Yeah, not normally a guy that you'll see start on the mound. Typically it's the 1-2 punch of Bryce Foster and Joseph Scambolari, but instead they give it to the southpaw today. We'll see what he can do. He's ate up a bunch of innings for them in relief, and he has run into his troubles as far as walking batters. So we'll see if he can't get a good start today on the mound and see if that gives him a little bit of a different feel, different perspective. Sometimes that'll jobble up your brain a little bit and get you in the right frame of mind. On a chilly day, too, so we'll see if he can't get off to a hot start and put the Power in yet again another good spot to win a ball game today. They've been playing exceptionally well so far in the Winter League.
They're tied with the Bombers for the best record in the league so far, but the Bombers have that tiebreaker with 2 victories in the 3 games each 2 teams have played. Cornstad fires the first pitch in for a strike to Barron Porter, who is the starting center fielder for the Grizzly and batting first. The rest of the lineup will continue with after this pitch as Porter sends this to the shortstop. Ronnie Keaton cannot handle the ball, and it looked like he had it scooped up pretty well, but it just flowed through the bottom of his glove, and we have our first base runner on an error by Keaton.
Not the way you want to set the tone. It's a little bit chilly out here today. I know we've been pretty spoiled with the weather. Typically in the 70s. Today it's just low 60s, something that we haven't really had to deal with yet. And an early error there could really set the tone. You want to obviously get out to a good start with it being a little chillier, and the wind will certainly play a factor today as well for the outfielders.
The Palm Springs chill play later, but they brought the chill early here to the ballpark as the next pitch misses high to D.C. Russ, who's playing in left field and batting second. Continuing with the Grizzly order, Sean Lawler will follow Russ. He's out in right field as Cornstad checks on Porter at first, unsuccessful. The cleanup hitter for the Grizzly is Cole Rankin, who will once again play first base. Daisuke Fukuda gets his second start at shortstop, and he bats fifth. Terry Tatum will bat sixth after another pitch misses to Russ. Tatum will play second base. Travis Tanaka, the versatile primary catcher, is moving over to third base and batting seventh. Carter Davis is behind the plate, and Nick Kreutzer is the designated hitter at the 8 and 9 spot. And Carter Davis is the battery mate of Arturo Monroy for the Grizzly. We'll talk about him next inning. He's coming off of the best start of his season. 2-1 pitch to Russ is lined right to the left fielder. Barcena camps under it and makes the grab for the first down. The defensive lineup is as follows for the Power. Barcena in left, Robert Brugermeyer in center field, Josh Jubilee out in right. The infield right to left is Robbie Carling at third, Ronnie Keaton at short, Julian Hunt at second, Patrick Metzler at first, and Landon Barnes, the battery mate of Samuel Cornstad, the left-handed pitcher, as the first pitch is a swing and a miss to Sean Lawler. May have gotten the tip of that one, but it is an 0-1 count.
Again, talking a little bit about Cornstad. 4 games so far this year, his first start. He's allowed 10 earned runs on the year. That's by far the most for the Power. So far, off to a decent start here in the first. He'll work from the stretch. High leg kick, big frame to the southpaw. Decent velo on the fastball.
0-2 pitch to Lawler, misses high, count 1-2. And it could just be a mindset kind of thing. Jackson Deckard, who started for the Grizzly yesterday, mentioned that he either likes to be the guy that's starting out games or the guy that's closing them. And it might be a change of mindset to help Cornstad here get out of really just 1 or 2 bad relief outings. His last game against the Chill back on Sunday, he pitched exceptionally well. An inning and 2/3, earned a save, and struck out 2 batters. So definitely on a promising uptick after that last relief appearance. But you just expect so much from these power pitchers when you see Joseph Scamboluri and Bryce Foster start games off. 1-2 pitch, Porter running on the throw. The pitch is high, and the throw is not in time and bounces out of the glove of Ronnie, scoring position with 1 out.
Well, and here's another thing too, Josh. You look at a lot of these teams, most of them have thrown out there at least 6 or 7 guys.
And that is lined in the air for a base hit right to Josh Jubilee in right field, who throws a high throw, but right on the money to Landon Barnes. That holds Porter up at third, but runners on the corners with nobody out as Sean Lawler comes up with a first base hit in the ball game.
But anyway, just to finish off that point, most of these teams have used at least 6 or 7 guys, as a whole for their pitching staff. The Power have just used 5 guys so far, so they have really relied on Scamboluri and Foster to carry the load, both of them over 15 innings of work. And then after that, it's been Espedia and Cornstead to really do most of the work. Zach Thompson only an inning of work, so the fact that they've really done it with just 4 guys is something in itself.
And there seems to be an injury on the field. Baron Porter is limping off for the Grizzly. Alex Littman will replace him at third base. Hopefully just a courtesy runner, but the trainers are coming out into the Grizzly dugout, and Porter is being helped off of the field.
Yeah, you don't want to see that, and he's got his arm wrapped around one of his teammates down there. I'm not sure I saw exactly what happened, but when it's a little bit chillier out, sometimes that will happen when the muscles aren't all there, ready to go and relaxed.
First pitch to Rankin is in there for a strike, and the pinch runner, Alex Littman, is a center fielder, so it does make it for an easy swap for Thomas Incaviglia and the Grizzly. As Rankin lines that one to shortstop, hits off the glove of a diving Ronnie Keaton and rolls into the outfield for a base hit. So Littman comes on and scores, and it is a single for Cole Rankin and an RBI.
Just out of reach there, as they gave a good effort from it. That was Keaton, who usually plays a pretty good shortstop, but he's having some tough love out there early on. The error in the first batter of the game and a tougher play there. He almost kept it on the infield nonetheless. Grizzly out on top here early.
And Sean Lawler has some speed. Definitely saved him a spot on third base as the first pitch to Fukuda gets in for strike 1. So the fielding definitely helps in some respect there for Daisuke Fukuda. The first earned run of the contest on Samuel Cornstead, and a 2-0 lead early for the Grizzly.
Maybe some of these Grizzly guys just used to this chillier weather. Typically as a hitter, you don't want to hit when it's a little bit colder out. Obviously it'll sting the hands, if you don't barrel it up all the way. But so far, every ball that they have hit has been hit on a line and hit well. And so far, they are rolling here early on. Already 3 hits in the game.
I think it's something about being a Canadian team. Even if you still play every game in Palm Springs, there's just a natural, predetermination to be used to cold weather. Or the Power, they are really the home team here. That one is lifted high in the air out to right field. Running on is Julian Hunt, who cuts in front of Jubilee to make the grab for the second out. So the Grizzly are attacking the count early with Samuel Cornstead pitching. The last 3 batters have all swung on the second pitch of the attack. Only 2 bats have lasted more than 2 pitches. Now Travis Tanaka, we'll see if he can continue that trend with 2 on and 2 out. Cornstead taking a look on second. And that one is in there for strike 1. Fastball catches the inside corner on Tanaka. One of the most versatile players in this league. He's a guy who can play a couple spots in the infield, outfield, and of course catch. That one bounces over Cornstad's head. Keaton can't scoop it up. A tough play for Ronnie Keaton, and that will load up the bases. And we're going to give Tanaka a base hit. And once again, the Grizzly threatening heavily, loading up the bags for the catcher, Carter Davis.
Yeah, and Cornstead has the right idea on the mound. You can tell he's trying to work quickly and keep his defense off the field as, for as short as possible, trying to get him back in the dugout and go hit. But Grizzly's just making it tough on him, hitting early in the counts like you mentioned, Josh, and hitting the ball hard, giving themselves good chances to get aboard.
First pitch into Davis is a strike, and it's good contact. Not like that error on Keaton was on a slow roller. It was a hard hit ball running at him, just a play that he should have made, as that one misses to end off the top of the first inning. But the Grizzlies strike first. On a cold day, their bats look hot. 2 runs on 4 hits, but they leave them loaded, and the Power come up to bat down 2-0. Power pitching on 2 runs in that first inning. Only the one of his friend to Samuel Corsi. Keaton, the man who made that error, will try to lead things off and turn the ship around for the Power after they go down to an early deficit before coming up to bat. He'll do so against Arturo Monroy of the Alberta Grizzly. Battled some injuries in the beginning of the year as Keaton lost that into right field. The catch is easily made by Sean Lawler. We do have a confirmation that Baron Porter is not back. Alex Littman replaces him in center field. So unfortunately, we could have another injury here. That is hopefully one that will end soon for Baron Porter. As Julian Hunt's for the Hunt. Monroy sent the first pitch into Hunt, who hits it, and a check swing foul. Keaton batted first for the Power, playing short. Julian Hunt follows him up, playing second base. Robbie Carling is third.
Great job there.
As Carling lifts this first pitch into left field, and a catch made by D.C. Russ. So we have what might be the shortest inning that we have had in the Cal Winter League. 4 pitches thrown by Arturo Monroy. We didn't even get a chance to set the lineups in the defense just yet. We'll do that in the next couple innings. 2-0 Grizzly with the second inning coming up. The Grizzly almost batted around in that first inning, and their pitching staff, led by the starter Arturo Monroy, 4-pitch inning for the Power. First pitch of the second inning misses high to Nick Kreutzer, designated hitter in the 9 spot. We usually see him in the 3 or 4 with a lot of power, and it is showcased right there. Line into the gap on the run, and getting it off a bounce is Josh Jubilee, so that will fall in. He's hit, and Nick Kreutzer ambushes pitch number 2 of the inning for Kornstad to get himself on the bag.
Going after that pitch early on in the count, like you mentioned, normally towards the top of the order, but also doing a good job of turning the lineup back over. A good 9-hole slot there to get aboard early on.
Alex Littman will get his first at bat. Foul tips it into the glove of the catcher Barnes, but that is just strike 1. Littman did score that run for the Grizzly as he swings and misses at strike 2. He got into the game on third base as Barron. That's 2 injuries in almost back-to-back days. A couple days ago, it was Casey Combs as Littman takes a look at strike number 3. We've got the first strikeout of the ball game, and that goes to Kornstad.
Number 34, outfielder, DC Russ.
He's trying to give his guys a chance to stay active with the feet on the infield. You can see the infielders, the middle guys, moving around a lot, even over in the corners, just trying to stay warm out there.
Fastball misses high, count is 2-0, and it is just barely 60 degrees out in Palm Springs. It's usually a temperature you get off that solid B move, but still a good move for the left-handed starter. 2-2. Wave and a whiff, strike 3. Runner is on first base, so that drop third strike will just be a normal strikeout swinging. 2 straight punch-outs, 2 straight outs for Kornstad.
Gets him to chase there on the slider. Some sharp bite to Kornstad's slider. It doesn't have a ton of side-to-side movement, more of a vertical slider. But it's got some good late life to it. He shows it there to get Russ on the strikeout.
First pitch to Lawler is skied into foul territory behind the plate, and that'll end up as a souvenir for one of the lucky fans here at Palm Springs Stadium. 0-1 the count. Lawler singled and scored his last time up. Also had that home run a couple days ago. Right next to that flagpole with the USA and Canadian flags blowing very much in the wind. Wind blowing, it looks like, directly back in towards the plate. It's got to help the velocity. Quick first inning in for the Power. They're looking to change things up here, as so far Arturo Monroy has only had to throw 4 pitches. The cleanup hitter, Willie Barcena, out in left field, will lead off the second inning for the Power. First pitch from Monroy misses. We'll have to set the lineup, so Ronnie Keaton, Julian Hunt, and Robbie Carling were all put out in the first inning. 2 flyouts and a ground out. In that order there, 1, 2, 3. Barcena, the cleanup hitter, up now as he spits on a breaking ball that catches the outside part of the plate. Count even up at 1-1. Robert Brueggemeyer will follow him. He's out in center field batting 5th. Patrick Metzler, the first baseman, bats 6th. Josh Jubilee in right field. Bats seventh as Barcena swings and misses at strike two. 1-2 the count to him. Zach Thompson follows up Jubilee. He's the designated hitter tonight and batting eighth. And Landon Barnes, the leading hitter for the Power, is catching and batting ninth. 1-2 pitch bounces and misses inside. Count evens at 2-2. The defensive lineup for the Grizzly with Arturo Monroy starting. His battery mate is Carter Davis behind the plate. The outfield left to right is Delmas Russ, DC Russ in left field. Alex Littman now in center as the breaking ball misses outside to fill up the count on Bar. Starting in center field, he was replaced by Alex Littman before he had a chance to take the field. And he is out in center. Sean Waller is the right fielder. Full count now to Barcena, who rips this one into the gap near right field, but making the short run, and the grab is Sean Waller for the first out of the inning, the longest at bat that a Power player has seen. And the rest of the defensive lineup, Cole Rankin, Phillips, Tatum, and second. S.K. Fukuda, and great defensive back in the first. Travis Tanaka is the third baseman. Arturo Monroy battery mates with Carter Davis behind the plate. So 1 out, nobody on for Brueggemeyer, and he takes the first pitch low, count 1-0. Brueggemeyer 4 for 11 on the season, 4 RBIs, 2 walks. Struck out 4 times and scored 4 times as well. 1-0 pitch is hit on the ground, fielded on a hop by third baseman Tanaka, who fires across the diamond for out number 2. So another quick at bat for Monroy and the Grizzly, and they're 2-away.
Yeah, Monroy comes into this game. 3 games started so far this year. Came in, he's allowed 12 earned runs, so the ERA up there in the 7 range. Decent strikeout numbers for him, 11 strikeouts coming in, but he's working quickly and efficiently here early on. Just letting these Power guys get themselves out. They've hit the ball hard a couple of times, but Monroy is off to a great start. Still no hits in the game for the Power.
And that full count at bat to lead off this inning was more pitches than he had thrown the entire game. That sums up the early inning of work for Arturo Monroy. Has a 1-1 count now to Patrick Metzler, first baseman, who's 3 for 10 on the year. Breaking ball, really nice pitch for Monroy there. Catches the lower part of the plate right at the knees of Metzler. And the count is 1-2. 2 outs. Power still yet to have a base runner. Monroy deals. Wave and a whiff, strike 3. That gets Metzler down swinging, and a second consecutive 1-2-3 inning for Arturo Monroy and the Grizzly. Great stuff on defense by Alberta, and they head into the third with a 2-0 lead.
Desert air conditioning.
Part of the order coming up for the Grizzly, Cole Rankin will lead things off. Daisuke Fukuda and Terry Tatum to follow him as Kornstad sends the first pitch into Rankin, and Rankin sends that into the batting cages out in left field for no 1 count. First baseman Rankin, usually with just 1 sleeve, now with 2. Likes to wear one on his throwing arm, just because he likes the tightness there, kind of He says it helps him get a little more velocity on that throw when he needs to. Now he's down on a 0-2 count. One for one on the game. He singled back in the first inning. Kornstad, the left-on-left matchup. He deals. Breaking ball misses. Count 1-2.
Seeing some of the dust from the field kick up with these winds gusting. Not something we typically see.
1-2 pitch. Wave and a whiff. Strike 3. Cole Rankin down swinging. Kornstad punches out his third Grizzly hitter. He is rolling after that first inning.
Yeah, off to a difficult start. 3 base hits there in the first that would get the run across, and then Tanaka would add another one for 4 in the first, but a pretty clean inning in the second, and now off to a good one here in the third.
Fukuda sent the first pitch into right field for a base hit. A lot of power for a shot that came off the end of Fukuda's bat. He's on first with a second straight single of the game for him. 7 hits now for... or 6 hits for the Grizzly.
Yeah, possibly spoke too soon there. Fukuda taking that pitch on the outer third, just going with that pitch, and that's what you really want to do, especially on a cold day. Not try to do too much or try to pull a ball on the outer third. Just go with the pitch and let it hit that thick part of the barrel and keep your hands away from stinging.
And Kornstad catches Fukuda napping, taking a nice long lead, and gets the pickoff. A quick move by the lefty, and as soon as Fukuda gets on base, he's sent back to the dugout, 2 away.
Looked like he might have gotten in there prior to the tag, but it's one of the first things that you'll ever learn when you're younger, slide back into the base, but that time just trying to go standing and he's caught napping.
Terry Tatum now no longer with a runner on base. Takes the first pitch for a ball, sends this one foul. Now the count's even at 1-1. Coot, I don't know if he realized how far away he was from the bag. Kornstad certainly did, as these pitchers really tend to peek out the corner of their eye at these runners. 1-1 pitch, misses high, count now 2-1. To Terry Tatum. Tatum, 2 for 12 on the year, 1 run scored, 1 RBI. And he might have another walk. He's got 2 of them on the season so far. It's 3-1. Something that all these power pitchers do is work really quickly on the mound. Kornstad no exception, as Tatum slices this one foul. Count full at 3-2.
I feel like we're seeing a little bit of a difference too when him starting on the mound. I feel like when he's come in relief, I feel like he's taking his time a little bit more. Maybe I'm just not remembering correctly, but that's what it appears to be.
You are right. It does seem that he's moving a lot faster on the mound as Tatum lifts this into right center field. With left to make the grab is Brueggemann. And that will end off the inning. So a hit allowed, but still technically another 1-2-3 inning for Samuel Kornstad. He's cruising, but the power still has some work to do. Down 2 in the bottom third. Bottom third of the order for the Power, yet to provide a base runner to back up Samuel Kornstad. 1 strikeout. Three flyouts and 2 groundouts make up the 6 out for the Power. First pitch to Jubilee is lofted high in the air in foul territory, going to escape behind a netting and fall out of play. Strike 1 to Josh Jubilee.
A couple of 1-2-3 innings for Monroy in the first and the second, getting a combination of ground balls and fly balls.
Count is 0-2. Jubilee, 2 for 14 on the season, but both his hits have been RBIs. Chance unless he gets a home run here, but he won't get the chance. Swings and misses at strike 3. Monroy has struck out his second straight batter. Great outing so far for him. That will bring up the big man, Zach Johnson, utility guy that the Power